This is a custom Hulk I've been working on. It's a really simple custom actually. Well, besides your 3D prints. You just take the MCU, Marvel Select MCU Gladiator Hulk, and you just take the paint off and make it look more comic accurate. I'm going to be using this Winsor & Newton brush cleaner and restore. This stuff is great for taking off paint on these Marvel Legends, or these Marvel figures period. I also have some 3D prints for the shoulder armor, and I think that's it. I do repaint some of the blues on here to brown just to dull it down, because the biggest issue with the MCU stuff is it has too much color, like it's just doing too much. You can see that a lot on the harness. There's like extra harness next to the it's just too much. So we're gonna just trim all this stuff off and make it look more comic accurate. If you want us to do one of these yourself, I will have a link in the description to the coats where I got the shoulder armor from. It also comes with a head print. I just didn't want to use the head. I like the head that comes on this figure, so I just kept it that way. The hardest part about doing these voiceovers is actually having to fill the spaces between me not knowing what to say. I got this idea from Papito Loco on here. He's a pretty dope customizer that I found. I was binging some of his videos and it popped up. And I had one of these Hulks just floating around. I was trying to sell it for a couple years and never sold. So seeing it being turned into something else gave me the idea to use it versus just it sitting in a fodder box. I looked at my retention rate for my YouTube videos, and a lot of you guys do not stick around past like a minute. So if you could just watch this video to the end, that would be great. I printed the shoulder armor in a tougher resin. It's an anti-impact resin by Resi1. They sent me this resin a while ago, and I've used it once and never used it again, but I got some pointers on how to make stuff print, and I tested it on the shoulder pad, and it worked out perfectly. Papito Loco also sized everything in that Colts file, so he sized the shoulder armor and the head, and everything pops on like it should. At this point, I'm just gonna trim all of this extra like stuff on this bandolier. I don't know why the MCU does this kind of stuff, but getting rid of it makes it look way better. I take these nippers and I just cut the little lines just to make my job a little bit easier. I'm gonna come back in with some bigger nippers and cut the thicker plastic. I did expedite this process for y'all because this took a long time. I want to say I had like 45 minutes of footage and I actually got it down to 4 minutes. I cut so much out because it wasn't boring, it was just a long process. You see I'm speeding it up right now. But here's the bigger nippers to cut the thicker plastic, and the way I did it actually, it made sense because it came off pretty easy. I should have trimmed more of this footage because you're just watching me cut stuff. I should have put something more interesting here. I don't know how I feel about just throwing up memes and random stock footage. I want y'all to see what I'm doing most of the time. Like if it fits, then I'll use it, but most times I want you guys to actually like pay attention to what I'm doing. Just in case you want to do it yourself, you can have a step-by-step guide. Step-by-step, I say with air quotes, but you get the idea. Here's the look at the bandolier without all the extras on it. Like, it looks so much better. It just should have looked like that in the movie. You see how busy it was compared to how it is, so. Here's the Winsor & Newton brush cleaner and restore. This stuff takes paint off like crazy. It's a lot like acetone, but it's less volatile to the plastic, so it's not melting the plastic. I had to move the bandolier down just to get a better like angle at the paint that was on the body. I ended up taking it off completely and just removing it while I was doing this process. It was at this point when I realized the green paint was coming off. Like they put, I don't know if it was shading or not, but it was just green paint on top of the molded plastic paint. Used Q-tips just to get in the hard to reach areas. This took a little while because a lot of this stuff was really tucked into other spots. It was kind of crazy. It's another one of those moments where I don't understand why I had so much footage of one thing. Moved on to the face, and the face, I actually took off one of the eyebrows when you see I'm taking off the white paint on that left or right side of the face. All in all, though, I also did repaint the eyebrow. I have a gray paint that matches the hair and the eyebrow perfectly. Here's everything after it's all said and done. I just repainted the brown with a mix of brown I had, repainted the wraps and everything. I didn't record it, obviously. I'm terrible at documenting my process. That's why I said this video was like 45 minutes long, because I let the camera run and I just did what I had to do. But then that involves me doing a voiceover and then editing and all this other stuff. It's a lot of work. So I hope y'all stuck around to watch this video. I also did repaint the shoulder armor silver, and I put like a rusty wash over everything. I ended up cutting the tunic off because I saw one picture of Gladiator Hulk with no tunic, and that was just a look I had in my brain for him. So I went with that. I left the tunic on here, but in person, the one I have right now, the tunic is gone. The only thing I would like to add is that crown piece he has, but other than that, I think this came out great. I really like how this looks. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if this is something that you would try or you would want to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.